What's up, Brodies and Bays? This is the Dynasty Bros Fantasy Football Podcast, episode 43. And this is where you come for all your fantasy football needs and to chop it up about the latest NFL news. I am Dynasty Bro Dot here with my co-bro.
You got Dynasty Bro Vic. What's up, everybody?
Man, how you doing today? You all right?
I'm good, man. I'm good. And we got a guest.
A super guest. How you doing today, man? We got Mr. Ron in the building. Mad Dog FF on the Twitter. Do they have any nicknames for Twitter? Or is it just Twitter? There's no cool slang for it. All right, man. How
the Twitter
you doing
world,
today, man?
you know.
The Twitter
I'm doing
world.
great. Happy Memorial Day, but belated for you guys. It's great to come back on the show. I had so much fun last time. You guys, obviously, impressed enough for you guys to give me a second chance at it. So yeah, man, it's been great. And we're just all living in the same, fishbowl right now, the Corona world that it is today. And we're just looking forward to, like I tell a lot of my friends and listeners out there, just having an opportunity to do this. It's an outlet for us and it gives us something to think about, get our mind off present day, real world, which is always good, I think, for everyone out there. So I'm excited to do this. Again, you can follow me at MadDogFF on Twitter. Might have heard the Dynasty Zone podcast on fakepixin.com. I've had about 50 episodes deep on that. We're relaunching that with my good friend, co-host Dave Sherney at Road Warrior _D. Great Dynasty OG from back in the day. He's still doing it. And then we do Dynasty Football 101 on Sports True Radio Network. That's on Friday nights, typically at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then last show I do is the XM at 211 Dan Patrick channel. Do that with Lou Landers. Sports Overnight America. We do that on Friday night, about 12 midnight. So if you're up late on a Friday night, you want to listen to some sports-related type shows, not more geared towards the fantasy side of it. That's a good show. Check that out. And again, shout out to Lou Landers at Landers Talks for just being a great friend in the industry. And you know how that goes, guys. You got to have a partner in crime.
Yeah, there go mine right there. No. There. Hey, Vic, we ain't doing something right till we can add all that stuff after our name. Like, hey, I'm Dynasty Bro Dot. This. We got
with the ticker.
Yeah. All right. So look, not only did you come impress us coming on our podcast last time, we actually had a contest, man. You actually kicked our ass, man. So look, we went with the episode today is the wide receiver landing spots because if you wasn't here weeks back, we went over the receivers right before the NFL draft, talked about the ones that we liked, and try to predict their landing spots. So look, Dynasty Bro Vic didn't get any right. Dynasty Bro Dot didn't get any right. My man right here, Ron, how many did you get right? Tell the people.
One, uno amigo, but you know what? I'll take it as a small victory here, guys. Because it's so hard to do what we try to do, which is, prognosticate in that show and predict, our favorite players, the landing spot with the receiver position. There's so many good receivers in this class. So, that makes it even more difficult for us to do what we were tasked at doing the last show. So, hey, I got lucky, but, there's a little bit of skill. I was pounding the table for that Ruggs pick for quite some time to the Raiders, and it made a lot of sense.
Yeah. You were pounding the table for two of them, two receivers to go there. They ended up taking two pretty decently early, but the Ruggs, you were like for sure on it. So I give you props to that, man. I really do.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Again, I think just knowing a little bit of history with Mike Mayock and John Gruden, I think that, again, lacking playmakers, it wasn't really that difficult to think about the most explosive, track speed wide receiver in this draft class, and that's definitely Henry Ruggs. Yes, he's going to be polarized prospect from now until he proves everybody wrong, or vice versa. He busts. But I think, again, with that organization, they're looking for playmakers, and I think that's kind of where I went with that pick because they lack playmakers at the wide receiver position. He's probably the biggest meal ticket at that position as far as the big plays. So it kind of fit. Put a hat on a hat, right?
Hey, Brian is such a good sport. He even, he's open to even taking a shot with us. So
let's kick that right now, man.
Yeah, we're gonna take this shot, and then we're gonna pick up again in the episode.
Yeah.
So.
This is the toast. Me and Vic got to take a shot to pay up the bet on, but let's get a toast. Having Ryan back, big thank you again, and this is a salute to you. for doing what you do. So let's toast up right now.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Oh yeah,
some moonshine.
Whoa! I don't have the bottle here, but it's tequila. You know, it's a tequila Tuesday for me, I guess, guys.
Hey, that works.
I'm a Crown guy, but I didn't feel like opening up the new bottle, so I'm drinking this Tito's, and it's not that good. All right, so look, before we get into the main segment, which is the wide receiver landing spots, we always like to do What's the Word with Dynasty Bro Vic. He gives us some hood TMZ, and he goes into just some news for the week. So, Vic, what do you got for us, man?
All right, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because we got 12 wide receivers to truck through. But I'm gonna start with this, man. Eli Manning's on Twitter, and he picked a great time to get on Twitter because, as you know, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and those guys, they had to match with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. So, of course, he was trolling Peyton throughout the entire match. Ron, did you get a chance to check out the match? I actually didn't get to watch it, but I saw highlights.
My brother-in-law was here. My sister-in-law were visiting at the time, and I kind of, we were just jonesing for a little bit of sports. So, yeah, I threw it on ESPN. I watched a little bit of the highlights, lowlights. But, yeah, I'm not a big golfer, so you guys probably could just, you could tell me something about golf, and you'd probably get me because I'm not going to be able to answer the question. But I heard Tom Brady's got a pretty good golf game. That's what I hear.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, he did actually hit a hole-in-one, believe it or not. So that was, that's classic Tom Brady
fashion.
Yeah, showing up on the big stage, and he also split his pants. So Barstool Sports on Twitter, they actually captured a shot of that.
I'd pay for that. I'd actually pay to see that as opposed to the other.
Yeah, but Tom had to actually switch clothes throughout the match, and unfortunately that didn't help because they lost. So Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods won. That was our guess a couple episodes back. We figured Tiger Woods would carry the team because Peyton was just out there heckling.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Yeah. So. And just to close it out, so they actually raised $20 million for coronavirus relief. So it was a charity match. So shout out to those guys. So
nice.
20 million?
20 million.
What the fuck?
All right. So that's that. I wanted to keep it short and sweet since we got all these wide receivers to dive into. I'm excited. So pretty much, we're just going to go kind of round table. Just for the listeners, we aren't ranking these guys. These are just wide receivers that we're excited for. I'm looking forward to seeing in the league. And we also got a couple sleepers for you too. Anything else you guys want to add to that disclaimer?
Nah, I'm just excited to get to it, man. And I think Ron should be able to kick it off since he was the only one to get a landing spot right. And feel free to lead either way, man. I know last time you were here, you was letting us know about some of the receivers that you actually like more than others. So feel free to talk about anyone on your list because I know I'm not going from the highly drafted one on down. I'm picking my favorites. So,
yeah, and I'm not. I talked a little bit about Ruggs already. I don't really right now. The guy that still I'm excited about. I was excited pre-draft. I'm excited post-draft, and nothing's changed for me. And that's CeeDee Lamb. And, a lot of people say, well, he fell in the draft and he went to a terrible landing spot. And I think that's just a lazy take on the whole situation in general, because from the grand scheme of things, you think about the contract situation with Cooper. How long are they going to have Cooper there? I mean, for my money, again, the real story, the real battle is going to be CeeDee Lamb versus Michael Gallup as that alpha dog number 2 receiver after, obviously, Amari Cooper. But here's the thing is that I think that no matter what, this is a great situation for CeeDee Lamb. He's got one of the best quarterbacks under center, true leader in Dak Prescott, to help, mature him and help him run his routes, be that vocal leader in the huddle. It's going to yell at him as a rookie, tell him what he did wrong and what he needs to improve or fix, So I think, again, from that standpoint, this is a perfect, storm for him. And then the pressure's not really on him to go out there and have 100-yard receiving games every week because you've got Amari Cooper, you have Michael Gallup there, established receivers there. Gallup's still maturing himself. My bold prediction is I think that we will see by the end of the season CeeDee Lamb take over Michael Gallup as far as targets on a consistent basis and kind of production in that offense behind Amari Cooper. And then you also have to think about the vacated targets with Jason Witten now gone at the tight end position. Blake Jarwin might be that guy to step up, but all around, I mean, what's not to like about CeeDee Lamb? I mean, exceptional ball skills, ball tracking skills. I mean, concentration, body control is as good as any receiver in this class, if not the best. again, playing that X role and laying Lincoln Riley's air raid offense at Oklahoma helped him. And he played with 3 different quarterbacks 3 years and consistently put up numbers, man. Again, CeeDee Lamb has checked all the boxes for me, continues to check those boxes. And, you know, I don't care if it's Jerry's boy or it ain't Jerry's boy. He's my boy.
Nice.
Hey, Vic, I think you should be able to follow it up, man. Say something about your guy, man, because you planted your flag on CD, bro. So get your words in.
Yeah, man. Echo, man. I've pretty much been taking CD everywhere, you know, that I can. And, you know, he actually has a chance to finish as a wide receiver 2 in that offense easily because, like you said, if Amari can't stay on the field, we know he's not going to show up on the road. So there's some opportunities there. And then, of course, you know, you got Michael Gallup there. But I think, you know, that offense just got a little bit more explosive. I'm still under the impression that CD fell there. I don't think they actually planned to take CD there. But if he's going to fall there, why not take him? So to me, it just makes sense. You know, if the talent's there, why not? But that offense just got more explosive. So I like it. I mean, taking CD everywhere that I can.
Yeah. I think Dak can entertain and all those receivers there, man. So I'm just excited to see that offense, man. Like, you have to worry about Zeke, and now you got 3 receivers that you got to worry about. So I'm excited to keep on seeing Dak play as long as Dak plays. Right.
And a lot of people are worried about just what you said. If, you know, Dak in the contract situation, and I'm saying sign that contract, Dak. We need you under center. I'm not even a Cowboys fan, but I'm a fan of all those moving pieces we've been talking about.
Yeah.
And I just like seeing this offense. And honestly, if you think about it, maybe the Cowboys offense, we should be reading this handwriting here on the wall a little bit, because I think maybe they're going to go away from the running game a little bit and try and lean a little bit more on the passing game. So from that perspective, I think that's something a lot of people need to take into consideration, that they understand they can't keep running Zeke into the ground, and this guy's career is going to be shortened by 3, 4, 5 years if they continue to do that. So I think this is a smart play for them, and the vertical pass catching option in this offense. It, just like you said there, Dotted, this is the Cowboys offense, and it's going to be high powered, high octane. I'm thinking back to your Indianapolis Colts there, Andrew Luck kind of, air early.
Yeah. My bad. I actually fat fingered the computer and kicked me out, but I'm back.
What's up, Dynasty Bro Vic? Welcome back.
Yeah.
So with that transition, Vic, why don't you get into one of your receivers, man? She came back to the episode.
All right, man. Of course, I got to go with Mr. T. Higgins. So, of course, my
other guy.
Yeah, one of my favorite wide receivers coming out of the draft. And as you guys see there, I mean, Cincinnati got a playmaker. He's high pointing the ball. There's going to be a lot of that, man. So he goes up and get it. And pretty much he's an AJ Green clone 2.0. Of course, not as explosive, but I definitely like T. Higgins, and I think he's going to get a lot of production early on. So he's going to step into that number 3 spot because, of course, you got Tyler Boyd and AJ Green. Hopefully, he can stay healthy. If not, you got Auden Tate. But of course, day one, we're going to see a lot of T. Higgins out there.
Oh man, we skipping John Ross, man. Mr. What he run, the 4.2? What was his 40?
All I know is he could have had his own island, but he had the wrong pair of shoes on, right?
That's true.
No, man. That's crazy.
That's true.
But nah, Ron, what you like about that Higgins in his landing spot?
Higgins was one that's kind of perplexing to me because I really love his talent, and I'm not hating on Cincinnati, but it's just, honestly, I think there's going to be something to happen. This, I think, is more of an indictment on AJ Green. From the dynasty perspective, I love the pick for them. The only thing is, I'm a little impatient like most dynasty owners, and I feel like when I make a pick at the back end of the first round, I want production from them year one. With T. Higgins, I think you've got to take him at 110, 111, 112, and know that baked into that is the knowing that you're not going to get as much production year one from him. Now, having said that, there's definitely, if AJ Green doesn't appear to be the same cat out there, he gets hurt, this could be a situation where Higgins has a lot of success year one. So I could be eating some humble pie here by saying this. I just feel like year 2 is really when T. Higgins takes off in that offense, when AJ Green's completely out of the picture, So again, that could happen due to injuries, but I love the talent there at Cincinnati. He's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I like what they're brewing for Joe Burrow there, man. That was a hell of a move to make, man, and get your franchise quarterback his pieces. So I like the move, man. Like you said, with AJ there, I don't know what it means, but hey, as soon as he's gone, I think it's takeoff city for T. Higgins. So
yeah,
like
and he even gets to learn from AJ Green. So even if AJ's not out there, that's still a player coach, in T. Higgins' ear, and speaks volume for them to take him with the first pick in the second round too. So draft capital's there.
You said the important word there, Dynasty Bro. You said draft capital there. You're exactly right. And I think you don't take any player that early, first, second round, not to play them and sit them or stand them on the sideline. So yeah, I think he's gonna work his way up the depth chart and get some big time snaps. But again, I think until about mid-season, you might not see production that you want out of him. More like a taxi squad on your deeper bench type dynasties. But I love him as far as long term.
Yeah. All right, Dot, who you got for us?
All right, I got 3 guys that were taken in the first round on my list, but let's get to Ruggs because Ron actually already started to speak on him, so I want to go out there, ask a couple questions, get him out in the mix. Did any of y'all expect him to be the first receiver taken?
I did not. I'll be honest.
Honestly, it didn't really shock me. I thought that the speed, there would be a team that fell in love with that speed, and I thought the Raiders were that team, so it seemed like a perfect fit. But I think even in the first mock on fakepigskin.com, I'm going to name drop our first mock pre-combine, I want to say,
yeah,
I had the Raiders taking him with their second pick because at that time, actually, I had them taking T. Higgins with their first pick in the first round. The second pick in the first round, I had him taking Ruggs. So if that tells you anything, like I liked Ruggs, but for me to say that I knew he was going to be the first receiver off the board, I'd be lying to you guys. I don't want to do that. I did think he'd be a top 20 player though.
Yeah, no doubt. So here's the thing. I like what the Raiders did, man. They need weapons. Why not go get a piece that's probably the most explosive in the draft and figure out what you want to do with them at that point, man. And so, for them to invest that early, they like something about what he does and his skill set. And, I like it. I like that they're going to go figure it out at this point. So I don't know what that means. I don't know if he's going to be out here getting the number 1 cornerbacks because I don't know what that means for his production right away. But I'm still excited that they jumped up, planted their flag on their guy. This is who we wanted over all of these talented receivers. So that just means we're going to get some run. So I do like that.
Yeah. All right. Ron, you're back up. Who's the next receiver?
All right. I just want to say one thing to your point there, Dot. On the Raiders, I find it pretty interesting. They drafted Brian Edwards also kind of in the equation. Then you throw in Lynn Bowden into the equation. Who's like that slash Swiss Army knife type player. So, again, I just think the Raiders, man, they're getting playmakers all over the place. And I think that's really, if you're a Raiders fan, you got to be excited that they're making these types of moves. And, okay, some of these guys may not pan out, but I think if you hit a home run with 1 or 2 of these picks here, if the Ruggs pick is that home run hitter and it hits for you, I think, again, as an organization, you can start to see that process of rebuilding and getting to where they want to be. So I just want to say that's kind of important in the whole process. I'll stay out there. Actually, I'll stay out on the West Coast, guys, with this pick, and a guy that, again, coming back from Senior Bowl in Mobile. I brought back some type of a flu virus, maybe Corona. I survived that, but KJ Hill from The Ohio State University. I mean, this guy, whoa, man! Like all week long, just blew us away in practices. And this is a guy that's, again, you play at Ohio State. You're playing beside a lot of 5-star recruits, just like at Alabama, Clemson. So you really have to stand out to in the crowd of just great, talented players. And I think that KJ Hill, rewind back to the year before. Who did we see year before? Terry McLaurin was that guy at Ohio State and that go-to guy for Haskins at offense. Well, fast forward to last year, Justin Fields, new quarterback under center for the Buckeyes. And who was his guy, go-to guy? It was KJ Hill more often than not. KJ Hill is, as far as an athlete, he's one of the most accomplished athletes to ever come out of Arkansas. A little history on him. He played every sport. Basketball, he's a basketball player. Plays above the rim and out there on the football field. That's, I think, what's going to help him win against physical DBs at the next level. And, again, being able to contort his body. I go back to that last day of practice. He made this one-hand catch with his whole body just twisted around, contorted. and snagged it. And we were all just like, what just happened? I mean, seriously, like KJ Hill is going to be one of those players that a lot of people, okay, where did he go? He went like, what, the 6th, 7th round? Yeah, they're going to be like, just going to shrug this guy off in Dynasty, be like, yeah, you know, somebody gets drafted that late, like an Eno Benjamin type. We're not going to pay too much attention to him, but that's the wrong thing to do. You have to analyze the situation and look at the Chargers. You know, there's an opportunity there because Hunter Henry's hurt more often than not, and I don't think they really truly have. Yeah, you have Mike Williams who can't stay on the field as a alpha dog. You have Keenan Allen, obviously. So really, you have your 1-2 receiver set up. You know, that's locked down. But really, between the hashes, I think that's where they're lacking. Austin Eckler's going to have, we know what splash plays he's going to get. But I think KJ Hill fits this offense to a T. And then you bring in Justin Herbert, who actually played with KJ Hill there at Senior Bowl in Mobile and got to know him. So a little bit of a chemistry between those two cats. I like the pick, man. I think KJ Hill, a lot of people sleeping on him, and they should be. He's a very nuanced. Now, he may just be pigeonholed to the slot. That's the only thing about KJ Hill that, might be a little Debbie Downer there for you Dynasty owners out there.
Yeah. And, I mean, like you said, there's definitely a clear path, especially to that number 3 role in the slot. And, you got Keenan Allen there. So, of course, Keenan runs great routes. So, KJ already has the hands. He's the all-time reception leader at Ohio State, and we have all these great wide receivers come out of there. So for him to lead in that category, that speaks volume. I think he's the steal of the draft, especially this late. I've been targeting him late. You can even get him in free agency in your dynasty league. So, definitely target KJ Hill. And, for me, the landing spot's perfect. So.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the fact you brought up the Senior Bowl chemistry with Justin Herbert. It matters, man. And coming in, man, you start to build your guy. Right now, he doesn't have a guy yet. Clearly, you have the established players there, but he doesn't have a guy right now. So you can go in and build that trust with somebody, man, or somebody you already know, get that confidence or that chemistry with him. So I like where he's going, and I think there's a chance for him to get some play time sooner than later.
And to your point, Dynasty Bro, that's a great point because think about second team, third string, like practices. Who's Herbert going to be throwing the ball to? It's going to be Hill in practice. Yeah, because he's like 5th, 6th on the depth chart, the receiver. So, yeah, they're going to build some chemistry. I love that. Again, great points.
Yeah. All right. I'm actually going to, since I talked about that being a steal, let me go to my next steal, in my opinion, Antonio Gandy Golden. So he got drafted to the Skins. Let me actually find this photo. Look, the man is catching the ball while being tackled. I mean, that speaks volume right there. So, that's the type of player that they got there. He has opportunity to step into that number 3 role again. Of course, they got Terry McLaurin. That's our favorite Naptown guy. He's local, so we're definitely rooting for Terry. But then you also got Steve Sims Jr., who's climbing the ranks. And then, you got Kelvin Harmon. But, I think Gandy has a talent to beat him out for that 3rd spot. Of course, the Skins like to run the ball, but they do got to throw as well. So I like the landing spot. I didn't see it coming, given they still got Trey Quinn and all these other, wide receivers. So, it appears to be a crowded wide receiver core, but I think Gandy is a player who can just rise. It might not be initially out the gate, but I think he can rise throughout the season.
True that.
I got a quick confession, Vic, in regards to your boy here. I actually traded last week in a rookie draft. I traded a 2021 second-round pick where I feel like it's going to be a late second to move up in the beginning of the 3rd, take Gandy Golden. And it's just because of the situation. And, dude, this guy, he's another one of those receivers flying under the radar right now in Dynasty. I think a lot of people, smart people, are catching on to this, but the situation is prime for the picking there. I mean, McLaurin, we saw what he did. We know McLaurin's nuance, one of the smartest players in the NFL. Between the years, he has it all, and it shows out there on the field. So Golden's not like he doesn't have the football IQ that Terry McLaurin had coming into the league. But I'll tell you what, he does have one hell of a work ethic, and also he just wants to be good. He has that desire, burning desires. I just 5 minutes for talking to him at Senior Bowl, I picked up on that right real quick, and I'm like, this guy really is going to be the type of cat that goes out there, works his butt off to improve and work his way up the depth chart. And again, there's not much there. I mean, you pointed out Sims, these guys. Maybe Kelvin Harmon, maybe Harmon might be like his top competition. And yeah, Golden to me, that's the most talent. It's going to win out. 110 10 times out of 10, cream rise to the top, guys.
Yep.
True that. I like that. Like you said, going to a spot that's pretty much wide open. McLaurin's pretty much planted his flag, but anybody else there, it's like it's for the takings. Whoever goes, I think, go win in training camp. It's open for any of those guys. So we'll just see what happens. I kind of like Harmon though, but we'll see.
All right,
we'll see. Well, let's follow up with Alabama guys. Another shocking draft pick to me, man. Denver taking Jerry Jeudy. That was I don't know if I was ready to see that happen, but I knew they could take a receiver. Figured they planted their flag on trying to see if Drew Lock is going to be their franchise quarterback. They get Jerry Jeudy. Maybe I just didn't think Jeudy was going to go there because I thought he was going to go sooner. That was my thing, man. I just seen CD and Jeudy going earlier in the draft. I don't know. But Jeudy going to Denver, man, going to go be a compliment to Sutton. It's amazing what they're doing for Drew Lock right now, to be honest, man. I think they're setting him up. Hopefully they unleash him a little bit more this year and let him throw more, let him take his deep balls. I think he has the arm too. And I think you put Jeudy out there. Judy's probably going to run the slot. What you think, Ron? Think Judy's going to be in that slot?
I think so. I mean, you got a big body receiver in Sutton there. I mean, I think the big winner, to your point there, it's Drew Lock. I mean, you're loading up here. You're giving him offensive weapons here and good offensive weapons. And even KJ Hamlin, I mean, the guys that they added, yeah. I mean, that was kind of the one that really made my head scratch. I mean, I could get over, like, Sutton and Jeudy, I don't think there's going to have any problem kind of coexisting. If they have this offense, again, playing in the AFC West is kind of that Wild West shootout type of a division, and the defenses aren't that great. Outside maybe the Chiefs' defense is improving a little bit, and they've made some good picks, in this draft at the defensive position. The linebacker and the secondary is getting better. But, yeah, I think this is a division where, they're going to be rolling up some points here. And again, why not go out there and get arguably the best he's the most NFL-ready receiver, I think you could say, as far as route running goes for Jeudy. Again, coming from Alabama, I mean, you know how good you have to be to play at that level in the SEC and among his teammates who are all five-star recruits, it seems like. So, again, another just great player receiver to come out of Alabama, after the likes of Cooper, Ridley. I mean, the list goes on, and I think this guy's going to be just as good. Maybe early on you might have a little bit of lull with him if he doesn't get going early, get going quick in that offense. But I think he will catch on quick because, again, I think he has a high football IQ, and I think he's not going to have any problem picking up that offensive playbook. But, again, that's why, training camps are so important, for us to kind of hear all this stuff. But, again, I like the pick. I did question a little bit just because of, having Sutton there. But I think that, again, these two receivers can coexist together. And like you said, the slot should be where he makes his money early in his career. Definitely in that Broncos offense is where they need him. And also, outside of Noah Fant, who's still probably boomer bust from week to week between the hashes. I mean, they need some guys there. They don't really have anybody right now. So I think that's a good move. And you bring in KJ too. So
yeah,
I like him.
Yeah, I like it. And I know a lot of people are, concerned about Sutton being there, but like you said, it's the Wild Wild West in that division. You got to keep up with a Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, and the Raiders who just loaded up on offense. So even if you look back to the Joe Flacco days, he had to throw 30 to 40 times. So target's going to be there for Jerry Jeudy. That doesn't concern me. This is a guy that, if you need some wide receiver help, definitely target him in the middle of the first round. I've seen him go, between that range. Not to say he doesn't go earlier, but that's kind of like what I've been seeing throughout these rookie drafts.
True.
I just want to say it's really kind of weird right now still with, I don't know, most of the rookie drafts I've been doing lately, it's been, 4 out of the first 5 picks usually are all running backs. And typically that doesn't really change. It's just seeing kind of where, these owners are going with that first receiver off the board kind of mentality.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, from what I've seen, it's kind of been 50-50 between Jeudy and Lamb. And I think that, again, that's going to be a raging debate, fire that burns on, for the next year or longer, because there's always going to be that Jeudy versus Lamb kind of debate. And it's starting now. It started before, and it's going to keep going.
Yeah, you can't go wrong either way, though.
No.
But I'm taking Lamb personally. But I do got some Judy shares, so see, that's how crazy it gets that quick.
Diversify your shares, right? Your stocks, your investments. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't want to miss out completely.
True that. All right, Mr. Ron, you're up again.
All right. And, if there was one shock from the NFL draft, not really so much a shock, but just a player that I looked at and said, why is he still on the board, and question that. For me, it was Tyler Johnson. You guys, when I came on the show, I mean, he was one of my first receivers I wanted to profile just because of the consistency and what this guy has been able to accomplish at Minnesota, where I feel like he struggled with quarterback play and just talent around him. I think that was one thing, Tyler Johnson. Another thing that was kind of like a red flag to me and made me scratch my head was the fact that he wasn't invited to the Senior Bowl as a senior. And I think that was kind of like, to me, I was kind of like, well, why not? I mean, so I think there was a little bit of stock down for him from the talent evaluators perspective, from the scouts. And again, I don't really get why. I think this is another player like a KJ Hill that was discounted in the NFL draft this year. I mean, he went to the fifth round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, I get it, man. It's a crowded wide receiver room there in Tampa Bay. You got obviously you have Chris Godwin, who just blew up. You have Mike Evans there, and you still have Justin Watson still kind of hanging around for Pennsylvania. He's a gritty type receiver for them, and then you bring in Gronk with OJ Howard. There's a lot of mouths to feed. I get it, but hold on. You look at what position does he play? They did lose Rashard Perryman. I know that's not a big loss, but he was their third wide receiver. You think about it. So again, there's some vacated targets that's going to help out a little bit. But where is Tyler Johnson going to make his money in the NFL? That's in the slot. Just was looking this up before the show, guys. He ran 661 of his 817 snaps out of the slot last year for Minnesota. That's a big number. Okay, where does Tom Brady? Who does he love? He loves his slot receivers. Yeah. Julian Edelman. I'm talking to you. No, Tyler Johnson's not Julian Edelman. But I will say this: I think that again, he has the talent or the situation and the talent here to have some early success and be one of those kind of sleepers where nobody really gave him a chance because of that landing spot, getting drafted in the fifth round. Again, he's going to make a living in the slot, and that's exactly where he is. He's he's one of the most NFL-ready prospects from the route running and release perspective, right up on line with Judy. He just never got that national attention that Judy did playing in a Power 5 conference, or a school like Alabama. So again, finished top 10 nationally in yards per route run due to his ability to get off the line of scrimmage. And I think, again, if you have that ability at the next level, that's going to bode well for a slot receiver. Getting off that line of scrimmage, getting a little bit of separation, the little twitch, that's going to give him that little opening that he needs where everybody's bigger, faster, and stronger at the next level.
Yeah, I actually love the landing spot, and I actually don't have any Tyler Johnson shares, but I'm gonna change that after this recording because he gets to learn from Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Tom Brady, OJ Howard. Like, what am I doing? So I definitely need to go give me some shares because even if he's just sitting on the sideline for a year or two, what have you, but he's gonna soak up all this information, all this knowledge from these great players, and I think the opportunity is gonna be there. And we can't forget about Cameron Brate. He also gets a lot of love too. So,
oh my God, he just name dropped Cameron Brate.
I had to, man. He gets love, man.
Oh man.
Hey, if Brady invites you to the private workout, that speaks volumes. So,
man, I got invited to that shit, bro.
Name dropping, I love it.
Nah, Ron, I was one of those guys that initially didn't get any Tyler Johnson shares due to where he landed. I wasn't feeling it. I got one now, so it's all right. But I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous up front, man. But like Vic just said, man, I think it's a good opportunity to come in and start learning, man, and just get straight to it. I think it'll be a good offense. Bruce Arians is always going to be in a throwing situation, so it's a good offense to land in, man. Even if you are the third, so it's cool.
Or fourth banana, or fifth banana, but yeah.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
You want to be on that banana tree, man, down in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of those bananas. Feel me?
All right, let me see where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Jalen Reagor. So let's go to Philadelphia. This was a guy that I had going to the Packers. You know, I kind of felt like there's missing that slot row with Randall Cobb. I'm trying to find this photo. I think this is it. There we go. Mr. Jalen Reagor out of TCU. So first round draft pick, went with the 21st pick. You know what? That receiver room is kind of crowded as well, given they just brought in Marquise Goodwin, and they still got a Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffries coming back. But for these guys to take them in the first round, that definitely, you know, tells you that they're looking for a playmaker, especially, you know, for the long term. So hopefully, you know, he can establish himself, you know, as that wide receiver 1, or if not, even that counterpart to Alshon Jeffrey right now. But he's definitely going to be out there day 1, week 1. So I definitely got me a couple shares, and I'm excited to see what he does.
Marquise Goodwin, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, all injured. I think they're just bringing in 39 receivers just because they can't keep a healthy receiving core. So I do like Jalen Reagor going there. They do need playmakers. And Carson Wentz, man, when he's healthy, he's a good quarterback. I don't care. When he has his pieces there, that's a good offense. He's a good quarterback. I know they have the tight ends. They play through the tight ends in the run game too, but to go take a receiver in the first round because you know you need playmakers, I think that bodes well for him in that system. So I like the system in the situation.
I'm 100% with this pick here, and I back it. You know, the thing is, we kind of brought up, you know, Vic, the receivers there. Alshon Jeffrey, he's not getting any younger. I mean, from his years in Chicago, I mean, he's brittle as like glass. I mean, this guy is going to break down, and he might be a cap casualty before the season even starts. So, I mean, that's another thing. The Eagles have a lot of cap issues as it is right now, which is kind of leads me to talk about Zach Ertz getting traded, all that stuff, because I'm sure everybody's heard a lot of those rumors. So, I mean, it's out there. They have to make moves to clear up some room in this cap, and I think Alshon Jeffrey might be the first to get cut there. So that's something to watch. You know, Reagor, physically, I mean, this guy, if you're going to knock something on him, yeah, he's small. That's it. So I think if his body can fill out and he can be a little physical, more physical at the next level, again, that's why they pay a lot of money to these conditioning coaches. I think that's going to be one of the things, you know, if I'm going to nitpick Jalen Reagor, that's it. And again, I think his quickness, he's twitchy receiver that can, you know, get it, you know, take the top off the defense. So, I mean, there's definitely a major opportunity for him in Philly that I think he's going to take a hold of and wrangle. But again, you know, he's a completely different receiver than a cat like, say, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. So it will be interesting to see kind of how healthy is Deshaun Jackson, too. He's the other guy we kind of throw into the mix. But there's, a lot of mouths to feed here in Philly. But this is obviously being the Dynasty Bros, you know, we're playing for Dynasty. We're thinking long-term. Jalen Reagor is going to he's going to be that long-term receiver for them in the future. And I think that, again, draft capital is obviously the telling sign there for him. Yeah. The biggest debate I've had personally is Jalen Reagor versus Ruggs in a few of my rookie drafts where I needed a receiver at the back end of the first. I'm sitting there scratching my head and staying up all night, tossing and turning, trying to figure out should I go Reagor here or Ruggs. Again, most cases upside, I'll go Ruggs, but Reagor's a safer pick here. Let's be honest. And I trust Wentz too. I'm with you, Doc.
Yeah, I like Wentz, man. All the injury history, man. I don't think a lot of people are on the Wentz train anymore. But if he plays 17 games this year, he'll be a top 6 quarterback.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were going to say top 12.
I was going to say top 7. I'm actually probably pretty close to where you're at on him.
If he plays the games, yeah, he's top. Bro, he's a good quarterback, man. He's just hurt. He's been banged up. That's the only thing that's wrong with the system. So it is what it is. I said it, Vic. You can bring it up later if you want to.
That's cool. But yeah, but Reagor has been going at the end of the first or even early second. So just to get a listeners an idea of, you know, where, you know, if you do want some shares, where to target them.
Yeah. And I've been pulling the trigger on Ruggs over Reagor just for the upside. Just the upside of him being there fast, and I don't know.
First receiver off the board.
Yeah, capital.
I also think, though, to your point, though, Dot, is if you're rebuilding anyway, you're picking the back end of the first. Why not take a shot on the higher upside type player, Ruggs, over Rieger, just for that simple fact that you brought up? Because, I mean, you have an opportunity to kind of wait it out. You're not trying to win right now. If I'm trying to win right now, I think, yeah, Rieger's going to produce more this season. Maybe not the first few weeks, but once he gets going in that offense, it starts clicking. Yeah, I think he's going to produce. He might end up being the top scoring rookie receiver, I should say, this year. But we'll see.
All right, Dot. Who you got for us?
Let's go to a guy I was iffy about and still kind of iffy about, man. So I'm interested to get Ron's opinion on this because me and Vic, we in a lot of drafts, so we talk a lot of these guys out. Justin Jefferson goes to the Vikings. And I was already skeptical about the whole offense. Yeah, it was a great season last year, and I think these are good players. Burrow's good, Clyde is good, Jefferson's good. But, like, what does that mean for him in the NFL now that it's real? It's not just on the best offense ever in college. So he goes to a team that loves to run the ball. They're comfortable throwing it 10 times if they're going to get the dub. A team that struggled to get 2 stud receivers, like the production at the same time. You had a Stephon Diggs, you had Adam Thielen. You still have Adam Thielen. I know he's getting older, but I still think Adam Thielen's going to go out there and ball if he's healthy. So I think it's one of those situations where Thielen's going to be good, and I don't know what kind of production that leaves for Jefferson if you have a Adam Thielen for 17 games, because Kirk Cousins loved him some Thielen. Even when Diggs was there, Thielen always seemed like the guy Cousins was going for. So it's interesting to see how this first year plays out. Like you said, we play for the long run, so they invested. So I'm excited to see them going further. But just in a running offense with Kirk Cousins, it's I don't know. It's shaky to me. Ryan, how do you feel about Justin Jefferson going to the Vikings?
Well, first off, I don't want to ram your parade, you being a big Justin Jefferson guy. I mean, honestly, it struck me. I think going back to the first show was kind of, and I might have even brought up the name Kevin White. And I'm not saying that, guys. I'm just saying, like, I want to see production more than 1 year from receiver out there. And sometimes we have the Kevin Whites of the world that come on the scene, have one big season, and then they get that paycheck, they get that high draft capital, and then all of a sudden nothing happens. They kind of flame out, you know. Sucks being a Bears fan, but here I am talking to all your listeners about my problems. But no, I mean, in all seriousness, like, Jefferson's a great talent, and I think that this is one of the situations, and I'm glad you brought it up, where I really can't buy into it. It has a lot to do with all the points that you brought up. I think Adam Thielen is probably the most underrated dynasty receiver out there right now due to his age, and I think a lot of people are just forgetting about, that's a lot of vacated targets with Diggs and now Buffalo. And again, we're assuming Jefferson is going to take all those vacated targets, but I don't know that we can safely say that is the case. That is he going to be ready day one to be that second receiver, opposite Adam Thielen? I think he's going to be thrown into the fire regardless of whether he's ready or not, because there's nobody else there to be that guy. I just have my doubts. This could be one of those receivers that, I'm not saying he's going to bust. I'm just saying year one, his production, we expect him to produce a lot. And to Dot's points, I'm with him, man. I'm a little concerned here. And you guys know I play in a lot of leagues. I have 0 Jefferson shares. So either I'm going to look like a complete idiot, I'm going to be crying because I have 0 shares and I play in a ton of leagues, or I'm going to be like, maybe puff my chest out a little bit saying, hey, I pumped the brakes a little bit on Jefferson. Now, it's not to say that at 6 weeks into the season, if he's slumping, that I would throw out a trade offer to my dynasty owner that's,
that's it.
Yeah, and, buy low on him because, I long term, I'm with you. He's going to be a stud. But this year, I'm a little reserved, too, on how much production we're going to see from him in that offense. You talked about it's like that seesaw last year or last few years with Thielen and Diggs week to week with the, production. So, if that's kind of how it's going to work here, I expect bigger weeks more often than not from Thielen, and I think Jefferson is going to be kind of more of that best ball type play that's going to have some big weeks, but consistency not so much,
Yeah, I had to get 1 share of Justin because I didn't want to miss out completely. So I actually traded, and let me know what you guys think about this. I traded Joe Mixon and Paris Campbell for Miles Sanders and Justin Jefferson. So I just wanted to get my one share because I didn't want to miss out completely. But I do agree, you got to be patient with him. And, my outlook on this offense, you're going to have Justin playing in the slot. That's what he does best. You got Irv Smith Jr. there. I think we're going to get a little move tight end action, kind of like how they do, Zach Ertz in Philly. And so I'm expecting that as far as, these guys to be on the field, Justin working the slot, but definitely got to be patient. And that photo I had up earlier, he's making that one cut. It's going to be a lot of that stop and go. And next thing you know, 60-yard touchdown. So, yeah, I'm actually excited. I didn't want to miss out completely.
I respect it. I
respect it too. I think I'm a Miles Sanders believer too. I mean, I think I gave up. I got Sanders a few weeks back, and I gave up Singletary and a 2021 first, and people told me I gave up way too much. But actually, that was pre-NFL draft. So then, a lot of things shaked out. With Buffalo taking Zach Moss. So Singletary, not so much. But Miles Sanders, he's going to be a fixture in that offense. I like Miles Sanders. Buying Miles Sanders now in Dynasty, that's a tricky thing to do, Vic. Good job.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm still going to stay on the side of, I think Jefferson's going to come at a discount. By week 8, you're going to be able to just go pay a percent of what you're paying right now in draft capital for some Justin Jefferson. I think he's going to struggle with that Thielen. Thielen's going to have a fire season, man. I feel it. So that was just that.
All right.
Ryan, touch your last guy. Hey, I just got this guy. I just got this guy for $1 in the Pokemon draft auction league right now that you're about to talk about. $1. So
that's awesome. I'll tell you what, James Prochet is worth more than $1, but I love this cat. Again, work ethic, getting a chance to meet him at Senior Bowl and interview him, a people person. Again, I could see that dog in this guy where he's kind of had that chip on his shoulder his whole life, where that mentality, growing up in Dallas, Texas, football is all he's ever known his whole life. Coming over, JUCO transfer. This is a guy that still wasn't like he was getting knocked, getting letters from Power 5 teams, conferences. So, I mean, SMU, we know their offense is definitely predicated. It's an air raid type offense. But, I mean, the numbers this guy put up, I mean, you're looking at, going back to, he had 800 yards receiving his last three, at least 800 yards receiving his last 3 years at SMU. And then the last 2 years, double-digit touchdowns out there. I mean, again, sticky hands, impressive catch point skills, for a smaller, 5'10" receiver. These are the things that make him kind of stand out. It's just he's kind of silky smooth there with running routes. And from what I've seen, he's a slot guy, okay? Don't get me wrong. He's definitely undersized for the NFL. I said it when I came on the show originally. I wanted him to go to New England. There's a lot of chatter about him going to New England. Okay, that didn't actually work, end up happening. But he did go to the Baltimore Ravens. And here's another situation where I think a lot of dynasty owners out there are kind of like poo-pooing this and saying, oh, yeah, you don't want to draft a receiver in Baltimore. But let's be real here. What receiver is there, outside of Hollywood Brown that's really established in that offense that you can say this guy's going to be a starter week 1, catching passes from Lamar Jackson? There's nobody else outside of those tight ends with Andrews. Well, Andrews now. So for my money, again, they went out and got Duvernay, another Senior Bowl stud standout. But I think when it's all said and done, I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think James Prochet ends up being a better player in a career and a better player, more valuable player for the Baltimore Ravens than Devin Duvernay. And he was drafted like 3 or 4 rounds earlier. So, again, I like Prochet, and I think this guy's going to work his butt off to get into the starting lineup. And, again, smaller target, needs to refine some of his route running, but very highly determined and motivated individual cat. That's the kind of guy I think project him as like a high ceiling slot type option in your PPR leagues, which is all we play in nowadays, guys. How can you not take a flyer on James Prochet with your last pick, or like you said, pick him up for $1? I love it.
Hey, Ron has planted his flag on James, and he actually has a photo with James in his Twitter backdrop. So check that out on Twitter at MadDogFF. But, to me, I think Baltimore is just trying to establish this dynasty and as far as NFL, real NFL, like, hey, we're here to dominate for the years to come. So they cleared house on all their, receivers. They got rid of Seth Roberts and, of course, another pass catcher with Hayden Hurst. So I kind of envision Miles Boykin playing that big body slot type role, like a move tight end, kind of stepping in as that receiving option for Hurst. And then I see James stepping in to eventually replace Snead. I know Snead's still there for now, but they want to go young with that wide receiver core. So I'm definitely excited. And this was a guy that you put on my radar. So, I'm excited to see what he does.
I want all cheap guys that you can get in the best offenses. Hands down. He's playing with Lamar? I can get him for $1? All right. Put him on my team. Give me all of those guys, man. You want to just get those guys that, like you said, with good work ethic, good upside, low price. Give me all of them.
All right.
Check all those boxes. Check.
So that was your last wide receiver, right? Am I losing track?
That was my last receiver.
All right. My last one is going to be a boom or bust kind of guy. Laviska Shenault Jr. I originally had him going to the Buffalo Bills, but he landed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. As you can see, a big physical guy. He's basically just an athlete. He's a football player. That's what they got. They got a playmaker. So, of course, you got DJ Shark. He's going to be the field stretcher there. And I don't know if it's, I don't know if Dede Westbrook is ever going to do anything consistently or if Keelan Cole. But I think, Laviska definitely has a chance to step in and be that possession guy for them. He can even run Wildcat for you if you want to get a little more dynamic with the offense. So, again, my only concern with him was just the injuries. So hopefully he can stay healthy. But this is a guy I've seen go in the early second to mid-second round of rookie draft so far. I don't have any shares. Again, it's just because of the injury concerns, but he's definitely boom or bust for me.
Ryan, you want to chime in?
Most definitely. I'll say one thing about Shenault, raw. And, raw in a good matter of the word. Like, this is a guy that you have untapped, like the ceiling on this cat. We have no idea how good Laviska Shenault could be at the next level because he started playing football so late in his life. And I think that you've yet to see the best football for Shenault. And again, like a Lynn Bolden out there for the Raiders. I mean, that type of wildcat type player. Again, this guy oozes talent and just potential. I know that big P word, but again, I think that the Jaguars, looking for playmakers here. You brought up their wide receiver depth chart there, and it's not like out of the realm of possibility that he passes up Dede Westbrook 2 weeks in the season. I mean, physically, this guy. I mean, again, he has the body to be, an NFL wide receiver. He doesn't have a lot of speed, but again, he was that X receiver, in Colorado, and just played a lot of different roles for them in that Wildcat we brought up. Again, this is a guy, after the catch, 58% of his receiving yards came after contact, guys. What does that tell you? He's very tough. He shrugs off those single tacklers, who think they can take him down, just with ease. So physically, this guy is just a beast, and he's going to be fun. He's going to make it fun to watch the NFL again. Receivers like Shenault in this draft class is why I get so excited about this rookie wide receiver draft class. Because again, he might bust, but there's also a possibility if he hits in Jacksonville, he could be really big. And pairing him with a DJ Shark, that could be a great combination over that 1-2 punch for the next 5 years.
Yeah, and with them playing Gardner, and Dede did not establish himself as that number 2 last year. What happened to the Keelan Cole thing, man? That was a thing for like 2 weeks, wasn't it? Like everybody was on this Keelan Cole bandwagon. I don't know what happened to it, but I think he went to a position where they need playmakers, and he can step in and be dynamic and be that number 2 ASAP. And I think that just adds to Gardner's value, man. He can go and establish himself with 2 young guys. So I like where he's at, and I like his opportunity right now. And he's a man's man. Big guy. Can't tackle me.
Before we transition, you guys got Carson Wentz finishing top 7. I got Gardner Minshew, the Jaguar King, finishing top 12 this year. So,
boom!
Let's do it, man. I'm all in on Gardner.
I'm going to take a shot to that.
Hey, they didn't take a quarterback, so yeah. I mean, honestly, I think they're all in on Gardner too. So
Yeah.
let's see.
They took a quarterback in the same route they took Gardner last year.
Oh, yeah. What's his name? Is it Luton?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Oregon State, I think.
Yeah, Jake Luton.
Okay.
Luton.
Okay.
Either way, man, it's the Gardner show.
It's sixth
Jaguar
round,
King.
though, not
Yeah.
Black Harris.
Yeah.
Jaguar King.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get
Like
let's get into my fourth receiver. And the Raiders took two guys, and I want to talk about that second guy. Look how big he looked right there. Mr. Brian Edwards right there, man.
Look at who he's doing it on. He's doing it on Alabama. Top talent.
On Bama.
Yes.
So, like we spoke earlier, it's a team that needed weapons, and they went all in, man. So I'm excited. Hunter Renfro's there, and you're going to play Darren Waller. He's established himself last year. It's awesome. But the receiving core from last year, besides Hunter Renfro, dead. And just thinking about what Tyrell Williams did for like the first 6-7 weeks, I feel like he was scoring a touchdown every week with Derek Carr, same O-line, same offensive scheme. He was just the big body receiver catching touchdowns. And I don't think he was talented at all for the most part. Not enough to be a number one. So you get another big guy out there. You have Ruggs. Ruggs is going to be able to do Ruggs things, whatever they want him to do with his speed. But Brian Edwards can go out there and be the red zone target because they didn't really utilize Waller as the red zone target, even though he's big enough to do that. But getting Brian Edwards out there, he's explosive, big, go get the ball in the air. I like what Derek Carr can do with him because I remember watching those first weeks and was like, how is Tyrell doing this? So I'm excited to just see the whole offense transition over to youth and how they want to use all these players. I think Brian Edwards is going to go out there and play right away.
Yeah. I like it. I don't have any shares of Brian. I definitely need to fix it, but I just want to sidebar. A lot of people are fading Darren Waller, because Raiders brought in all these, playmakers and weapons, but look what Darren Waller accomplished with, without having too many playmakers. So if you bring in Edwards, you bring in Ruggs, you got Hunter Renfro. To me, that opens up the tight end, so the middle's going to be wide open. So hopefully these red zone targets go up for Waller. I know I just kind of turned this into a Darren Waller show here, perfect opportunity though. But yeah, definitely get you some Edwards and get you some Waller. There, I brought it back.
And they also have old man Jason Witten there too, and Baltimore No is one of my tight end premium targets, like just deep roster stashes. But I like what the Raiders doing at tight end there. I think that you bring in a veteran. Waller is definitely he had that breakout season, but to your point, Vic, I think a lot of people are doubting Waller, and they're trading him right now and trading him for like 50 cents on the dollar. I think that this is if you're smart right now, it'd be the time to buy him.
Yep.
But I like Edwards real quick, and I won't talk too long about Edwards, but early breakout age is really a good indicator for him and his success in the NFL, I believe. If you look at that, the age is definitely something in Dynasty we want to look at. He's got that on his side.
Yeah.
And, again, great opportunity.
All right. I believe that's all the wide receivers. Is that correct? Any flyers?
Ryan, you want to speak of any flyers that you like in the draft?
Oh, flyers. Quintez for the Lions. I actually like Quintez's game. I watched him a lot playing in the Big Ten, Wisconsin. He had some off-the-field issues going down and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that. But I think a lot of teams knocked him down, or took him off their draft board because of that. I think that's a mistake. Quintez Cephas has got some, just ball tracking. He's in a position where Marvin Jones, has put up some big numbers, but Marvin Jones is a trade candidate. Marvin Jones is a guy that's going to be the first one sent packing if this Lions team struggles. I think Cephas is a guy that a lot of people aren't really looking at all or considering, and I get it just because of, again, he didn't put up that massive production, but catching the ball as a receiver, Wisconsin, it's not like you're going to, catch 90 passes or 1,000 yards receiving a season on a rush-based powerhouse, running team, So that's what they do. And so receivers are going to get overlooked at a team like Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So he's one, definitely, for me, that I like a lot. John Hightower, too. I throw one out for in Philadelphia. A lot of people aren't talking from Boise State. John Hightower has got a lot of skills to his game, and you go watch his tape. He's that slash type player that can play a lot. He's like a poor man's Lynn Bolden, I mean, basically. But he can play in a lot of different places, and special teams will keep him on the field as a rookie, get him some playing time. And again, there is opportunity that we talked about in Philadelphia. So if Rieger doesn't take a hold of it, or if it's slow moving, or you have injuries, I wouldn't be shocked John Hightower from Boise State at the receiver position actually gets a chance and actually surprises some people.
Yeah. All right. I got two. One's going to be a sleeper, and another one's going to be one with some draft capital. So I'll start with the draft capital. Michael Pittman Jr. from my Colts. I always got to bring it home. They took him in the second round out of USC, big body receiver, step in, play that possession role since we got rid of Devin Funches, and also we lost Ebron. So there's definitely some targets there. I actually need to get some Michael Pittman shares, so I'm going to work on that after this episode. And then my flyer is Gabriel Davis out of Central Florida. So he got drafted to the Bills, 6'2", about 215. Of course, they brought in Diggs, and they still got Beasley and John Brown. Those guys are like 5'8", 5'9". But I think Gabriel might be the future there with Diggs and Josh Allen. So, definitely take a shot there. Why not? On the name that's under the radar right now, who's going to step in and be the number 4 potential wide receiver. So,
and I kind of got the same thing Vic did. We talked about Hamler, so I'm not going to go into it a lot because we already talked about Denver. I think they're going to turn up. I like that offensive situation, and they invested in him. But I want to speak about a guy that wasn't on any of our lists, but he went in the first round. How do you guys feel about Brandon Ayuk going to the 49ers, man? A situation where they got rid of Emmanuel Sanders. They need a second piece alongside Debo. So how do you feel about that situation, man? They invested in the first round pick. Give or take, they didn't really need anything else on their team, but they still invested their first pick into him. What do you guys think about that?
Go ahead, Ryan.
Brandon Ayuk, I feel a lot better answer this question, Dottie, if I actually got to see him at Senior Bowl, but he was hurt that whole week. And I think the whole pre-draft process, I think that kind of hurt his stock a little bit. But the crazy part was I was down there and I was hearing a lot of these scouts say he was better than N'Keal Harry coming out. And I was like, whoa, hold on, whoa. And then I had to go back and check and look. And I think this is a guy that, again, he doesn't have a big resume to come with him. But I think that as a player, that skill set fits exactly what Kyle Shanahan is trying to do there in San Francisco. And how does he kind of, fit him in, mold him into that offense along with Deebo Samuel? And how's that going to work? Again, I think there's a lot of, playing that X role, X receiver has been really good in any Kyle Shanahan offense. You look, year out, guys like Pierre Garçon, Emmanuel Sanders put up big time numbers. So I think there's going to be a receiver that's going to really put up big time numbers. It's probably going to be Deebo Samuel. I think Ayuk, maybe not so much his first year. So again, I'm pumping the brakes a little bit on him. I've seen him go in the back end of the first round of some of my rookie drafts. I like him as a talent, but I just, again, he's probably kind of in the same kind of tier as like Jefferson as far as just I want to see a little bit more from them in college. And I feel like they are in great situations to, have opportunities to succeed early. It's a matter of do they really take a hold of those and run away with them. Again, I think he is in a great situation. But again, from a dynasty perspective, he's more of a, mid-second round type pick for me, where I think there's a little bit less risk baked into that draft spot. But anytime you see a receiver going to first round, you need to take the notice because of that draft capital. So, again, I could be dead wrong about him, but he's a guy that I'm deciding between him and like Denzel Mims and my boy Ruggs. I mean, I'm taking those two guys over him, over Brandon every time, without a doubt.
Yeah, I actually have a couple shares of Ayuk. For me, I've gotten him in the early second round, and the decision process there was first round talent, NFL draft capital in the second round. Hell yeah, I'm gonna jump on that. But he's also gotten praises from Torrey Holt, so the great, St. Louis Rams wide receiver. So if you got guys like that giving you praises and speaking to your potential, I don't want to miss out. I think he has opportunity to step in and be the number 2 there. Of course, they got Debo, and like you said, Emmanuel Sanders is gone, and is Jalen Hurd going to be a thing? I don't know. And of course, they got rid of Marquise Goodwin, so there's definitely targets there for him. So I think he's going to step in day one. Oh, Dante Pettis.
I'm salty about Dante Pettis. Maybe that's why I'm not all on board here. Dante Pettis train never went anywhere.
Yeah, this is still in the station, but yeah, I think Brandon's going to step in there and be the number 2 in that offense. So, granted, he's tied to Jimmy G right now. I don't know if that sounds sexy, but hey, they got to throw the ball to someone else besides Kittle. So,
R.I.P. Dante Pettis.
Yeah, we usually try to RIP someone. It was Justice Hill last week. Justice Hill.
Yeah. RIP Justice Hill.
He deserves it. He definitely deserves it, guys. So I'm glad I threw his name out there, even though it hurt. It pained me, guys, to do that because of my shares there. But yeah, sometimes you swing and miss, guys.
I'm glad we waited. I was about to RIP Keelan Cole. I'm so glad I waited. we got to RIP Dante Pettis.
All right, so we do want to pay up this bet. So of course, Ron, you had Henry Ruggs going to the Raiders. I had Ruggs going to the Eagles. So yeah. So given what we missed, we'll take this shot. But before we do take this shot, I want to ask you guys, which rookie wide receiver will finish with the highest fantasy points, PPR? So let's plant our flag on one rookie wide receiver that'll have the top finish between rookies, wide receivers.
I don't want to go first.
Yeah, nobody wants to go first in this one.
I had one initially. I don't know if I want to pivot, but I can put it out there. All right, look, I'm gonna start here just to get the thoughts going. I'm between Lamb. I'm between CeeDee Lamb and Rieger, but I think I'm gonna go Lamb. So I'm going Lamb.
I'm going to go Rieger because you took my boy Lamb, but honestly, I do think year one production. I think Rieger's in the driver's seat for these rookie receivers. I really do. It's going to be really hard for him to miss in this situation. I like Rieger, and it pains me to say I have like 0 Rieger shares, so I'm gonna have to change that, guys.
There you go.
I got some Rieger shares. Okay, I'm not going to pick a guy you guys pick. So
that's like taking shots. That's all that is.
Since I like taking shots, I'm going Henry Ruggs, man. I think his blow up games are going to keep him in contention with the consistent scoring that Rieger might get to get or Lamb might get to get little by little. Ruggs might have a couple 35-point games this year that'll help me get some total fantasy points by the end of the year. So I'll take that. Remember Hollywood? Remember Hollywood first game?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruggs might give me a couple of them and might make y'all have to take shots.
You know what I did? With Hollywood's first game, I was the guy tweeting, I can't believe I didn't start a guy named Hollywood week 1. I was that guy.
Right? He was on my bench too, man. It pains me to say that. He was on my bench last year in a couple of my leagues, and it hurt me. But hey, who would have guessed? Who would have thunk it?
Yeah, and then it came full circle, and then they went down to LA and played the Rams, and I did it again. Why wouldn't I play a guy named Hollywood in LA? I did it twice. So.
Yeah, right.
Check that schedule.
Half of his family's, there watching him. Like he's got some extra motivation there. But yeah, missed again there.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna pay up this shot.
Come on,
to Ron, and I got more moonshine. Here we go.
You gotta let that shit go.
Nice.
Shout out to you, Ron. Well, Ron, we definitely want to thank you. Shot just hit. Thanks for coming by to hang out with us. Let people know where they can follow you at, and also what you got going on.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it's always a pleasure having me on. An honor to be on your guys' show, and it's always a lot of fun, always entertaining. So thanks again for having me. I'm at Mad Dog FF. Again, you can find me Friday nights. I'll be chilling on the Catbird seat with Dave Sherney. That's at Road Warrior _D. We do the Sports True Dynasty Football 101 show that is available on iTunes. Friday nights, typically 8 p.m. Eastern. Again, the Dynasty Zone, Fake Pigskin, that's my podcast that I created. There's over 50 episodes out there. We're relaunching that. Dave Sherney will be my co-host for that show also. And then lastly, again, XM 211, Dan Patrick Channel, Friday nights, Sports Overnight America with Lou Landers at Landers Talks. We do again, it's more of a sports show, no fantasy type analytics or anything like that. But it's a lot of fun because we can talk with the world of sports, which is, obviously been hard to do as of late, but with football. But we're really excited to get, once everything starts being normal again, guys, we can talk everything else under the sun as far as sports goes.
Yep.
All right. Dynasty Bro Vic, before we get to the say something good to the people, where can everybody follow you at, sir?
All right, let me pivot. So they can follow me at Dynasty Bro Vic, Instagram, Twitter. Also, everyone be sure to follow fakepigskin.com. That's how, I was able to get in contact with Ron, for that first episode we did. So definitely want to, thank those guys. Those are our friends. So give them a follow on Twitter as well. And also be sure to subscribe and follow the podcast at Dynasty Bros FF everywhere, Facebook page, YouTube. Wherever you listen. So thanks.
I ain't mean to make you pivot, bro. My bad.
No, it's cool, bro. It's cool.
And follow me at Dynasty Bro Dot on Instagram, on Twitter, Dynasty Bros FF. That's the main page on Instagram. So that's where you follow. Make sure you follow everything that we just talked about. Before we get to the end, everybody needs to say something good to the people. So Ryan, we're gonna start with you, man. Anything that's been on your mind, any positive notes, say something good to the people, man. We need it during these times.
I think in these times, we have a lot of free time in these times, and I think that one thing I've kind of put myself in and try to do a better job is kind of like in my free time, just kind of laying out things that I want to do, projects and goals. I guess what I'm trying to say, guys, is setting goals in your own personal life, and even when you're at home, like it's easy just to relax and not do anything when you could be like accomplishing something, doing some job, for the missus or what have you, or your family or your son wants something done. So again, set aside that time, but also, setting these goals down in paper, and actually you feel good when you accomplish those. You can just check them off off the list. So again, I like checking boxes, guys. I mean, that's kind of what I do a lot of.
Yeah,
it's a fantasy thing.
Yeah. All right.
Nice, bro. Vic, say something good. Oh, my bad. I'm done, bro.
No, you good, bro.
Leave.
Nah, but before we got here, Ron, we're going to join you at the Senior Bowl next year. Hopefully there is one, if there is, so we can see these guys up close and personal too. So then hopefully you can meet us at the combine. So
100%. I'm really excited when I heard that news and you guys telling me that you're going to enjoy it. I mean, I can't sell it anymore. They've already sold it to you guys. Obviously, hope I did a good job, so I sold it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys will definitely connect, and the lake house. I'm pretty sure I got a couple open rooms in the lake house, so we'll make this happen, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys.
All right, sounds good. All right, my closing word is I know we're coming. I don't want to say we're coming out of quarantine. I think we're just coming out of it because we're just choosing to. May not be the best idea, but definitely taking precautions during this time. And if you felt like you didn't really do anything in this time, it's not too late. So it's never too late. So to Ron's point, I always set goals. And then also set them to your own timeline. So don't, compare yourself to yourself. That's really the best person you should be comparing yourself to. Whatever you want to start, just start it. It's never too late. And still continue to, take precautions during this time. So.
Yeah, piggyback. Just be safe as the cities are opening up and they're allowing you to do more things. You don't have to do all of these things. But what I will say is I just talked to some of my close ones this weekend and said this. I don't think it's one of those things that's going away. So we need to learn how to live with it, stay safe, stay being cautious with everything we do. But go see your loved ones, man, because they can be here today and gone tomorrow. You guys don't have to go hit the town. You guys don't have to go do anything extra. Pull up, see the ones you care about, tell them you love them, man. So I do want to say that. So,
all right, Doc.
Advice.
Walk us out, man. Great episode. Appreciate you guys. I want to thank you, Ron. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hopefully, looking forward to doing it again.
And Ron, we're going to talk because me and Vic, we're going to try to set the tone for Combine, like from here on out. It's in our city, and we want some things to go through us, man. I want people to come here and actually feel like they came here for more than just the Combine. They were able to be involved in some activities, some events. So we're going to try to set the tone for that, man. So I'm speaking it now into existence, so I can make sure I set a fire under my ass to be up on it. Vic's better.
That's definitely one of my goals too, to make it to the Combine too. And it's just been a little bit harder for me to get access, but 100% want to be there.
Cool.
All right. Well, hey, we are Dynasty Bros Fantasy Football Podcast. Ron, follow him again. Mad Dog FF on Twitter. Thank you for coming again. You're a boss. All that good shit. Vic. Hey.
All right, that's my guy.
Hey, walk us out, bro. I'm gonna take this last shot of this Tito's on the way out.
All right, that's another episode. We'll be back at it again next week. We stream these live weekly from the Facebook page, Dynasty Bros FF Podcast. Remember to always dominate your league, Dynasty Bro style. We out.
Yeah.
Out.